everybody. It's Justin Kennington with the SDVoE Alliance, and I'm joined today by Andrew Gross, Vice President of Sales for XYTE. Andrew, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Justin. Happy to be here.
So XYTE, I have to say, you guys are an invigorating company. I'm pumped about what you're doing. The simple way to understand it for a simple person like me is that you're making it real easy for, I mean, I say me and my products, I don't really have products. In this case, SDVoE members and their products and anybody else in AV to connect products to the cloud, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, why would I want to do that?
Yeah, so that's kind of like the first phase of what a partnership with XYTE looks like, because it is a partnership because we're actually going to be working with manufacturers through every stage of getting to the cloud. But when I say first phase, and you asked the question of really why do I want to do that, right? When we work with hardware manufacturers, which this industry has an incredible amount of great hardware manufacturers, our goal is to be that innovative software arm to support, to get these boxes, these great pieces of hardware into the cloud. And the reason why is because this is what customers are asking for. They're asking for devices to be monitored and managed.
Tell me who customers are in that sentence.
Customers are dealers, customers are integrators, customers are end users too, though.
Sure.
Right? It's a big swath of customers out there that are buying these great pieces of hardware. And they're asking to support them, they're asking to monitor them, to manage them, to control them, all in a remote cloud-based environment.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. It seems like, okay, I'm a manufacturer. Let's say I am. I'm not. I'm pretending. I'm a manufacturer. Well, I'm sure I can go write some code. I can connect myself up to the cloud. Why not just go ahead and do that? What's the difference here?
That's a great question, and there's really two big reasons why. The first one is, of course, is quickness and resources that you're going to have to, of course, take to dedicate your previous hardware-specific business over to software. Software is not easy. As difficult as hardware is, maintaining and keeping software constantly up to date, constantly connected and integrated to all the applications out there, it's a huge, huge strain on money and resources and time. The other one is quickness, right? It's the ability to start to offer cloud-based monitoring and management tomorrow. You know, if I were to develop a cloud-based system for my devices today, if I would start developing, it would be years before I would get them out there. XYTE can work with you to make it happen in a couple days, if not a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. What I thought you were going to say, and maybe you still will. Maybe you'll tell me I'm totally wrong. Is that XYTE's also building a platform that's now going to cross over all these different manufacturers, right? And if I'm the end user, you know, I'm thinking of, you know, it used to be I had 6 remotes on my coffee table. I could get a universal remote and combine them. These days, it's, well, I got a Philips Hue app, and I got an app for my smart TV, and I got an app for this and app for that, and I just want to control my house, but I got 6 apps.
Yep. Imagine what it's like in the modern conference room today, right?
Right.
I've got this touch panel and that display and this control processor, all from different manufacturers.
So talk about that. I have to imagine a big part of XYTE's vision is, you know, the more of this we capture, the more this becomes a one-stop shop for that end user to manage their system.
It is, and that's the single pane of glass goal that like every customer and integrator is asking for. So if you're looking at the steps of partnership with XYTE, the step 1 was cloudify your products.
Okay.
Step 2 is now being able, once I've cloudified, I got to get them to the cloud first. But now that I have my own branded, logoed cloud offering for the manufacturers in the SDVoE Alliance, each for their own, now I can also offer them as part of this agnostic single pane of glass to my integrators, to my service providers, and to my end users. Once you start to get them to the cloud, they're now available on this one Workplace by XYTE agnostic cloud management portal.
Let's dig into that, because first you took me this way and then you zagged me that way, and I think it makes sense, but I want to just make sure. So for example, we can build an SDVoE cloud, just pick out my example, and now somebody, an end user, could come to the SDVoE cloud and I guess see and manage their SDVoE devices. But it sounds like I've still walked into the trap. They've got Lutron lighting control. They're going to go to Lutron's cloud, and they're going to, which hopefully is powered by XYTE, and it's still 2 different clouds. But now you just told me about, what did you call it? XYTE Enterprise?
Workplace by XYTE.
Workplace by XYTE.
Yes.
I have a feeling this is going to be my one app. This is going to be on my universal remote control, where all those devices that are talking into what is actually the XYTE cloud are available to the person who owns those 12 devices from those 6 manufacturers.
Exactly right. That is the universal remote.
Okay.
But the thing is to definitely, keep, your audience in mind here is there's options. You have the ability to go out there and offer, for as individual manufacturer and member within the SDVoE Alliance, to work with XYTE and offer your own manufactured, custom branded cloud. You also have the ability, because you did that development work, to offer that universal remote of clouds.
Okay.
So you do get both.
Let's talk about, do people worry about connecting to the cloud? I have to imagine somewhere along your journey, telling people about this, that someone has said to you, "Ooh, I'm scared, privacy and security, and the cloud it worries me." What do you say about that?
Certainly less now than before, right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably expected. The cloud's much more adopted widely by enterprises, even in financial and government institutions, than ever before. But
Wow.
It is still a concern. But when the customer, whether that's the integrator or the end user, begins to look at what they're already doing in the cloud, the concept cloud becomes less scary. We've all used Zoom, we all use Microsoft Teams, we all use O365, Word, Excel, Google Documents, all live in the cloud today. This is also part of an extremely secure SOC 2 Type 2 certified, full GDPR certified cloud running on AWS. So while the conversation, the questions are there, it's becoming less and less, and customers are way more open to working in the cloud.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You got your financial statements stored on OneDrive. You may as well
Exactly.
let your SDVoE decoder report it's EDID.
Yeah, that's a great point. Not as important or secure or worried about, but just as vital for the operation of the room.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So you're telling me about these phases, right?
Yep.
I can build my own manufactured cloud. We could talk about Workplace by XYTE. I got it this time. Good. What's next? Where do we go from there?
So the third phase is what I call the panacea. This is that, fun.
Bless you.
Thanks, appreciate it. Is that one big word that everyone's been asking and throwing around over these last couple months and years is device as a service, hardware as a service. How do I begin to offer my products no longer as a one-time sale, but as a subscription service to my customer base?
Okay.
And that is the end goal. Now, I put that as stage 3 because when you look to define as a service, or what is hardware or device as a service in this industry, it's actually made up of many tenets. Before, like in the past, when people were coming out or manufacturers were coming out with device as a service, the initial thought was a lease, a financial model. How do I take my $3,000 device, divide it by 36 months, and charge my customer for that? Yeah. In reality, what true hardware as a service is that a financial model, but it's also refreshes, and it's cloud monitoring and management and support, and the ability to have a holistic view of everything that's happening in your workplace to wrap services and support and operations all around a single subscription model for your hardware. Make the software the leader and the hardware the medium to deliver those types of support services. That's where hardware manufacturers in this industry are going to grow their business and drive this industry forward, and we want to be the enabler for that.
Ultimately, it becomes an easier way to sort of understand and operate on total cost of ownership, right? Because it's not about the $3,600 box. It's about $3,600 box. I got to pay somebody to go touch it every 6 weeks. I got to do firmware updates. All these things. I got to pay the electricity bill. All these things, add up to a device's total cost of operation.
They do.
What you're able to do in this way is more easily roll that up. So frankly, as the business owner, I can understand that. I don't have to go build a spreadsheet model that says it's going to use electricity and I got to send somebody 6 weeks. It's okay. It's $40 a month. It's $1,200 a month. Whatever it is. Exactly. This is what it costs me, and I know I'm done. It's out the door.
The key thing too, Justin, is it's not just about selfishly the manufacturer benefiting from it, right? Like this adds huge value to the customer, and again, that customer being the integrator or the end user, they're looking for this type of engagement with manufacturers today, but it's very rarely seen in the industry, and it's extremely draining to try to do this on your own because of all those tenants need to come together in a single platform, which hopefully we can provide.
Now let's talk about the benefits to the manufacturer, to the person selling this device as a service. As I see it, what a wonderful way to make sure that you remain in touch with your customer, right? You turn that interaction from project-based, thanks for installing it, here's a check, maybe call me in 2 years, to we're together all the time. Now what happens in 2 years when they want to expand the system, they want to upgrade the system, they want to do something? Who would they call first? It's
exactly right. It's not just trying to find reasons to go to my customer and bring cookies to the front desk, right? That's not my excuse to go back anymore. I now can go back and say, hey, by the way, we just came out with a new
I know where you learned that technique from, by the way.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. We don't have to talk about that now, do we? No? But instead of bringing cookies, it is now, hey, I came out with a new feature that you can buy as a license and upgrade your product all through this cloud. Hey, by the way, you're coming up on your new refresh. We just came out with a new product. It's part of your subscription to our hardware. Much better interactions with your customer who benefit from that.
Yeah. I'm curious, and you can choose whether to answer the question about what's your goal or what's your prediction for how it's going to go, but I feel like what's in my head, we've been talking about the manufacturer monetizing device as a service in this way, but it seems to me that an integrator might do the same thing. Maybe the manufacturer's not interested, but the integrator is going to go buy that box for $3,600 and turn around to their end user and device as a service the thing. Do you have a horse in that race, or just as long as they're as a servicing it, you're happy? How do you think it's going to go? How do you want it to go?
Well, our horse in that race is that in a great way, we don't care.
Well, there you go.
But reason why is because...
Oh, here, I'll tell you. An old friend used to tell me, I don't say I don't care. He says, I care very deeply, but I'm not particular.
I got to use that one. That's way better than I just don't care, right? That sounds worse. But the reason why I care deeply but not very particular, see, it worked, is because the manufacturer still has to start that chain reaction, right? They still need to get to the cloud.
The device has to be
whether they offer
excited.
It's exactly right. But whether they offer the all-encompassing as a service or they offer the ability and enable and empower their integrators to do it,
there you go.
All the power to them, right? We don't mind.
Maybe I sell them off the shelf, but I sell them for $200 more with that capability included.
It is, and that's kind of like one of another tenant in this as a service umbrella is the financials. Yeah. But that's a great thing that we're able to provide too, because not only do we provide cloud and service and support and device as a service, as a way to transact, but there's a financial aspect in here.
Absolutely.
How do I get a line of credit? How do I transact with credit cards and charge credit cards in this if I'm going to subscribe through POs or whatever it may be? We also have that as part of our enablement platform.
Tell me what you mean there. You're talking about just a billing platform or something more extensive than that?
Yeah, so it is a billing platform. That's part of the as a service umbrella. We also have a great partnership with a big bank to support a line of credit.
Oh, hello.
If the integrator wants to buy from the manufacturer all up front, but offer and float as a service, we can support that integrator with a line of credit.
Okay. You really have thought of everything.
Yeah.
That is invigorating.
Not exciting.
Is there anything I missed?
I truly believe that's all. If I'll say one last thing, it's first off, we love being a part of the SDVoE Alliance, and the manufacturers that are a part of that alliance are such a part of the foundation of what we're trying to get out there, and a lot of your current members, and of course Semtech specifically, have partnered with XYTE to start to enable everything that we've been talking about. So that's fantastic, and I appreciate being here.
In fact, it's worth saying explicitly that connectivity to XYTE is now built into the SDVoE API.
It is.
So in fact, the manufacturers in our membership don't have to do much anything further. They just have to flip a switch and turn it on.
We've started almost step one for you, right? In a way. You're kind of ready to build. But that step two, that step three is really where you're going to start to take off your business. And the last thing I wanted to say was simply, this is so much more than just getting your own business and your own manufacturing practices and go-to-market practices to the next level. But together, it's going to drive the industry forward, right? We're going to be walking around this trade show in a year or two from now, and we're going to start seeing every manufacturer begin to offer an as-a-service type offering the same way when people go to CES or go to an Apple trade show and see the way that they go to market.
Yep.
This industry's next.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. How do people find out more?
So to find out more information, they can go to our website. It's XYTE, XYTE.io, or you can reach out to me directly at andrew@xyte.io.
Super easy. Well, thank you for joining us, Andrew. This has been fun. And thank you for watching.